Hey, hi. Welcome to Tarot and Tea Tuesday. Had a few issues getting live today. I'm not sure what that's about, but hopefully it means that hopefully it doesn't mean the internet will just cut out like it did a few times before. Oh, and I'm a bit glitchy. Okay, so hi. Coming up towards dark of the moon, the balsamic phase. So where the moon is kind of like waning towards the dark moon. And for me, that's time of letting go, just releasing and letting things go. And I've had a couple of weeks since the last full moon of just so much stuff, important stuff, all kind of like coming to a head at once. And some things are getting done. I'm pretty sure by the dark of the moon, I'll be kind of on top of it all. I don't know how anyone else is feeling, but I'm looking forward to the next lunar cycle for sure. And also I think, this the sun in Pisces is an interesting time for emotional re-establishment. This year feels like it's taken a while to kick off. If anyone knows much about the Chinese year that we have come into, like the wood snake. If anyone can share in the comments any insights around that. I just haven't had time to dig into it deeper, and I'd love to know. So anyway, I've been thinking about just these different, because I've had a lot of actually I'm going to talk about the tea first. Okay, last time I visited the lovely Susan, she gave me a bunch of rose hips. And I've turned some into a tea today. Look at that colour. It's just, I don't know, it's amazing. And it reminds me of, the colour reminds me of every day I've been using some St. John's wort infused castor oil, because I've got a bit of dermatitis under my, and I've been using on that. It's working well, by the way, but I've been looking at every morning in the shower, I'm using it, and just to look at that kind of vibrant color every morning is really activating, I've noticed, and I'm getting a lot of things done in the morning these days. And this is a similar color, and you look at it and you just think, I could do anything, I could be anything. And rose hip, like as soon as you taste it, it's got a little bit of tang to it, so it makes you feel like, salivating a bit. It reminds me of citrus, the same kind of like tang you get from a citrus. And it's interesting because I've always I've been picking rose hips and drinking their tea for many years now, but have never really dug deep into the research around its active constituents and its medicinal properties, things like that. But what I've just always had lingering in the back of my head, probably from things I've read over the years, is if you're feeling run down, if your immune system is feeling run down, then rose hips are really good. And I'm pretty sure there's that correlation with citrus, that I want to say there's vitamin C in it, but it's got that taste. I wonder if that taste is associated with citric acid and therefore vitamin C. But yeah, I was grateful to receive this at this time, because it's getting a bit better now, but I have been doing like a thyme tincture gargle, because my throat, I don't know if you remember, but my throat's been sore for a few weeks. Nothing's really escalated. I had a bit of a cough a few weeks ago with a lot of phlegm coming up. But yeah, it makes me think that maybe my immune system's just not attacking things efficiently. So yeah, this is coming at a perfect time. It's also anti-inflammatory from memory, and I've been doing a lot of physical work again, and my joints are always in need of anti-inflammatories. And something came up to do with antioxidants a few weeks back too. So pretty sure this is high in antioxidants. I mean, like maybe it's in the color, but anything is this vibrant makes me think of antioxidants as well. So here's to rose hip tea. I highly recommend it. Harvest your own if you want. Cheers. And thanks, Susan. delicious little gift. So the cards. So all of this stuff that's been happening to me. Well, I'm being very selfish in the way that I'm wording this. I've been experiencing a lot of big things shifting in my life, and a few people around me have related to it. But it made me think about, in my instance, of a lot of big things coming in and, you know, trying to like shift and move big pieces that are forcing my hand, forcing me to adjust and make changes. Made me think of the different roles that I play in my life. So, and I knew I had in my tarot chest some archetype cards, and I managed to dig them up. Now, these cards are, this might work from the back, by Caroline Myss. Now, her name came up for me because years ago, I can't remember even who gave me these cards, but years and years and years ago, someone loaned me a book that I read when I was studying herbal medicine back in the 90s, called The Anatomy of the Spirit, and Caroline Myss is the author of that book. And it was a really good look at the energetic anatomy of the human body and how those energetics it's like I guess a westernized an introduction to the westernized view of energetic systems within the body, and it's a really good read. She's a great author, easy to understand, so it's not an academic text by any stretch. I highly recommend it. But then I found out she came up with these archetype cards, which someone gave me a while ago, and I haven't used them a lot, clearly, because I've had them for many years and they're in very good condition. But they're oracle cards, so they're not tarot. I'm cheating with, it's meant to be tarot and tea, but it's actually it's going to be these cards instead, oracle cards. And you know, the artwork is sweet. Tells us a bit, but there's a lot of words. You probably can't see them because, yeah, there's a lot of words on these cards. So I thought it might be nice to sort of check in, because I'm feeling very selfish in my perspective of energetics at the moment. I'm usually pretty good at having a corporate view of things, but at the moment I kind of like reach out for the corporate view and directly relate it to myself every time, or I can't even see the corporate view for what I'm viewing in my own life and circumstance. And I thought this might be a good idea to pull out an archetype card just to kind of like, if we're going to be in it, I might as well really get in it, if you know what I mean. And I didn't get any questions for today, so here we go. And hopefully, in me being selfish and looking at an archetype card that relates to my life and my situation, hopefully it helps you all as well. So here we go. All right. Oh God, that's a bit intense. It's called The Exorcist. Dun, dun, dun. Actually, it looks real, like the image is pretty cool. It makes me think of the image of the Two of Swords in the tarot sitting, but they're blindfolded in the Two of Swords. But yeah, I'm getting this image of someone that's just like ready to perform some kind of ceremony. So I'll read out the words that are on the card. Light attribute. They have a light attribute and a shadow attribute. So the light attribute is freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. And the shadow attribute is fear of facing your own demons. Interesting. Okay, so feeling yourself and others, or freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. I feel like that's my job at work as a supervisor, is to sort of like stop people from socializing, getting distracted by things and focusing on their jobs. So maybe I need to pull that a bit more into my life. I wonder, so I'm relating that to the word exorcist, and I guess like if you're free from the things that pull you off course, then you become more orientated towards a center of self that is authentic to who you are and what your goals are and what your needs are. So I wonder if this is how Carolyn Myss is relating the Exorcist to this card, by getting rid of, cleansing, clearing, freeing. And that's interesting because one of the things that I've been doing a lot of since all of this big mountain moving shifts have been going on in the last few weeks, since the last full moon, is clearing and getting rid of stuff around my yard and my garden. And, you know, I'm doing that thing where once I've done the outside, I'm going to sort of spiral in. So I started planning and working out how I'm going to do that inside my house. So I wonder if that is, in a sense, a form of exorcism, like getting rid of old stagnant energies. Anyway, I'm just going to hold that thread and look at this shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. So one of the other things that I feel like with big shifts going on is that once something big moves, you kind of see what is buried within it, under it, or in it. And I wonder if that's what this card's relating to. So, like, for example, one of the things I'm dealing with at the moment is my car, and that we might be going into end of life protocol with my car. And I guess the demon that's inside of that is, for me anyway, is that so this is the first car I bought, and I have, because I'm an animist, I have developed a very strong relationship with this car. We spent a lot of time together. We've done a very lot of kilometers together, like huge amounts of kilometers together. And I've also sunk quite a bit of money into this car over the years, but it's been like a part of our family, right? So the shadow, for me, this shadow attribute is that one of the demons is maybe that I'm putting too much emphasis on these material things, and I need to sort of look more at the relationship as opposed to the thing I'm relating to. This is kind of what I'm getting. And in terms of like the light aspect of, you know, freeing myself from something, which probably is these demons, let's face it, it is the Exorcist card, that maybe what I'm essentially freeing myself from is my own, like getting distracted by the item rather than my journey with it or my relationship to it and what the depth of that is. So because my next step of my own personal cleansing and clearing is moving to inside and the stuff that I have, maybe I need that. This is good timing for when I start to work on what I'm cleansing and clearing from inside of my house, that I figure out if what I like items that I have. So for example, that candelabra over this shoulder here. What is my relationship to that candelabra? Do I really use it for its practical purpose? Do I, you know, this is me freeing myself of something that is impulsive. Do I keep it because it makes me because of the nostalgia associated with it, because that's pretty much all I would keep it for. So in my mind, I'm kind of going, oh, maybe I need to get rid of that candelabra. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if I wasn't doing a cleanse, I probably wouldn't even think about it. Maybe, I don't know. So that's how I'm relating it to my own life, is looking at it as more of like a cleansing, clearing process. And in doing that, if I'm going to be the archetype of the exorcist, if that is an attribute or an archetype that I could be utilizing, tapping into to make my life better at the moment, then I would arm myself first of all. See, all of this character's armed and ready. So, and funnily enough, I have been making a couple of brews. One of them is activated charcoal, salt, and I've put a bit of rosemary in there for putting at entryways to sort of draw negative energy out before it even enters my house. So I'm on the right path at least. But yeah, that would be my first step in embodying this exorcist archetype, is arming myself. So pulling out the feather and the sage, making up some more of those salts probably, and then it would be working out the process. So the process would be how to cleanse. What am I actually cleansing? So for me, what I feel like my instincts for making that the salts that I made recently, my instincts were around clearing energetics from the house. So incense and these salts at the door are going to be a good thing for that. But also I think there's like the past is sort of hanging around a bit. So dusting is a good thing. I'm going to do a bit of getting rid of the old dust so we can start building a new, which I'll try to do before the next new moon. So at the next new moon, I can be creating the new stuff. And also clearing out some stuff, things that I just don't need anymore. I'll check fire bands, but I feel like I might burn some things. So that's how I will be dealing with this exorcist archetype. If you have any thoughts about this archetype being relevant for you, or how you might tap into that and utilize it, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, here's to cleansing. This is going to be fortifying. This is going to help me cleanse stuff. It's going to be a great new moon, people. Cheers.